Please welcome Senior Director, Admin Evangelism, Salesforce, Mike Gerhold.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to all of you in the room. Welcome to those of you online. Thank you for joining us. Boy, don't you wish you could bottle up this room's energy right now? Ooh, I love it. I am going to start off with a little bit of gratitude because I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. You are the reason the admin community exists. You come together in user groups, in meetings, in big cities and small towns, and you're why I'm so proud to have been a part of this community for the last 18 years. Thank you. This community, I gotta tell you, it's thriving. Look at that number, 164 admin user groups in 47 countries. Yeah, you can clap for that. The scale that admins work is just unparalleled, and that's not even mentioning all of the Dreamin' events around the globe that you host for each other. Because you're not waiting for the future of work, you're creating it. And by creating it, look at this. Over 100,000 agents you've already created. You've created millions of custom apps, and every month, billions with a B processes are executed on the Salesforce platform that drive your company forward. Wow. Okay, so I would have clapped for that. Thank you. But you know what? That's the tech. Let's talk about you, the trailblazers. Because you're taking your skill and creativity and you're leveling each other up. You're becoming agent blazers, champions, innovators, and legends. That tells me you're ready for the future of work. And that future of work, well, that's the agentic enterprise. I mean, has there ever been a bigger shift in our industry? We're seeing apps and tabs come from conversations. We're seeing workflows become agentic orchestrations. And we're seeing scattered data and siloed data become real-time intelligence. That's the agentic enterprise. But here's the problem. Who's going to bring this to life? Who knows how users work? Who knows how our systems are connected? Who knows about security? Who knows about data? Who knows about analytics? Because the gap you see here, that gap is massive. It's the gap between the companies that want to become the agentic enterprise and the companies that will be the agentic enterprise. Who's going to bring that to life? I have two words for you. Salesforce admins. You will bring it to life. You will bring it to life in the same way you brought change with admin core responsibilities. Analytics, security, data management, user management, and of course, product management. This is how we've driven change. This is how we are going to drive the agentic enterprise. But let me tell you what's really cool. What's really cool is with Agentforce 360, you don't have to pick and choose. Every app is agentic, which means based on your skill, your priority, your business goals, you can build the agentic enterprise. Isn't that right, Jason? All right. Now, we have something really cool to show you today. We have the agentic enterprise that's built. And we built it in a sample app that many of you are familiar with. It's the Coral Clouds Resort app. If you're agent blazers, you definitely are familiar with this app. But tell me if this sounds familiar. Lots of data, multiple processes, many stakeholders. Sound familiar? Yep, I'm seeing some heads. That's what Coral Clouds is wrestling with. Now, I want you to do more than just watch these demos today. I want you to start experimenting right now. You can do that by scanning the QR code. You can get the Coral Clouds Resort app and start experimenting on building the Agentic enterprise literally right now. People at home are already doing it. They're jealous. Okay. You know what, while we're here, I got to give credit where credit is due. The amazing demos you're about to see today, that's right, give her a round of applause. Kate Lassard is our lead admin evangelist, and she was the power behind most of the stories and the demos you're about to see. She's been an admin for over 10 years, so she knows our challenges. She knows what you're going through. And rest assured, she's here to show you how to bring the Agentic enterprise to life. So today, we're going to show you how you can set up and build with impact, how you can make every experience intelligent and conversational, and most importantly, how you can make sure every solution is trusted and secured. Now, to get us started, to show us how to build with setup and impact, please welcome to the stage Senior Director, Product Management, Tian Kruger.
Thank you, Mike. Hello, admins. Hello. Thank you. Hello. I'm a former 10-year customer turned product manager here at Salesforce for the last 5 years. And I've had the privilege to build incredible tools like Prompt Builder for you to help transform your enterprises and hopefully add just a little bit of AI magic to your orgs. But today I want to talk about something that I think is on top of all of our minds. Setup is too complicated. You can clap for that. There's too many pages. There's too many clicks. It just takes too long. We have heard you. We heard you at Dreaming events. We heard you at True to the Core, and we see your idea exchange submissions. Well, this is why we're going to announce a brand new way for you to work. Setup powered by Agentforce. With incredible features like being able to create flows, objects, summarize flows, do user management, including permissions and record access. It is absolutely transformative. You can even ask for help. In fact, there is so much more with the first release. We are retiring 120,000 idea exchange points. Right? Come on. And with the next release, there's 60,000 points more coming. Now, as a former customer myself, I will tell you, I know the pain that you're in, and I will tell you, I wish that I had access to this when I was trying to figure out why that one field won't show up. Or you've been there. Or you're trying to figure out, like, I'm trying to create this new use case, and it would be really helpful for me to just know what's in my org. But here's the thing. None of this would have been possible. None of this would have been possible without Cheryl Feldman and her incredible team. Let's give them a round of applause. Cheryl and her team has worked tirelessly, and I mean that, tirelessly, to make sure that this is the biggest transformation for admins since setup was invented. But you know what? Talk is easy. You probably want to see this, right? How about let's just skip the rest of my demos. Kate and David, can we switch to demo? All right, let's do it. So, to set a little context, we're going back to Coral Clouds, and they're trying to onboard, or they're busy onboarding some tour operators. And these tour operators have negotiated room rates. They want to create a custom object to track this. And there's a couple of things we need to do with this custom object. So we're going to start and set up, and we're going to object manager and create. Kate and David, there's an easier way to do this now. Can we go to this new amazing homepage? All right, so here's your new setup homepage. Take a moment, take that in. You can see your org health. You can see so many incredibly helpful things on this page. You know what the coolest feature is? You can hide the navigation. How long have you been asking for that? All right. So let's just start using natural language. We're going to ask Agentforce to help us here to create this custom object. And we're going to tell it, we can call it rate management, but we're going to let it fill in the details. And user in the loop, we're also always going to make sure that we ask you for permission first. So the agent is going to come up with a design. It's going to figure out what it thinks the object should look like, what fields should be in there, and what we should be reusing within the org. And so once it does that, it will show us a recommendation. There we go. You can see there's some existing things that we're reusing. You can see all the details right there. That looks pretty good, Kate. David, let's go ahead and get it created. Now, with a single click, you're creating an object, all the fields, all the things that's needed. Done. How many clicks did that save? Just like that. Now, that's not all that setup powered by Agentforce can do. We need to create a flow. Now, the flow, we're not going to create the complex flows you created. It's Keynote, right? So we got to keep it simple. But let's create a flow that says, sets the negotiated by on the rate agreement. And we're simply going to ask Agentforce that. Now, again, Agentforce is going to do the same thing that it did before. It is going to show us a plan for what it thinks this flow should look like so that we can make sure that it understands it. And if you want to adjust it, you can. So once it comes up, there we go. There's the flow, create a record-triggered flow. Now, notice this is record-triggered. You can create record-triggered flows and schedule-triggered flows in the initial release. Custom-triggered, like manually triggered flows and screen flows are coming in next release. Pretty amazing. All right, let's go ahead and create that. Now, we're going to skip ahead, a little cooking show magic. We created this flow earlier just to save us a moment. So here's the flow that it created. Now, you can't just create a rate agreement and just publish it into the system, right? Somebody's got to review it. So let's add an approval process. And here's the amazing thing. You can do it right in Flow now. We finally have approval processes right in Flow. Let's do a simple approval. Now, a simple approval has two paths. On the left side, you actually have it when it completes. On the right side, you have when it times out. So we're going to set it up to time out after a month. We're going to set the submitter to be the current user, and the record we're approving to be the rate agreement. And we are going to set the approval group to be the group of people that we want to make sure approves it at the company, because, of course, you're never going to put it on a single individual, right? Fantastic. Now, once it's completed, we're going to go ahead and put a field update in there that sets the approval or sets the record to approved, and so that people can know that it's ready to use. Super amazing, right? Really amazing. And now, remember, you want to make sure that you set that timeout as well to maybe send an email to the approver so they can know that there's an approval waiting. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and publish that flow. Now, talking about flows, how many of you have ever had the question, I wish I knew what this flow does? Just 4 of you. All right, I'll talk to the 4 of you. All right, so now, again, we all have, right? Somebody else created it. It was there when I got there. It's really complicated flow. I really don't want to figure out. We have a superpower for you now. You can just ask Agentforce to summarize this flow for us. Now, we're going to summarize the flow we just created because you know perfectly what's going on in this flow. So it's a good one to validate, right? Agentforce takes the flow, takes a look at what it does, sends it up, and it's going to come back with a beautiful paragraph for you to help you understand what this flow does. And it's going to save you so much time catching up. All right. Let's see what it comes up with. All right, upon creation of a rate agreement, flow sets are negotiated by. That looks pretty good. And look at that. And the approval, yeah, that's the whole thing. Come on, that's pretty amazing. Absolutely incredible. Now, if you're keeping score at home, we've already created our object. We've created our flow. And we actually are now ready to take this to production. So now we're going to come back to setup powered by Agentforce, okay? So don't fear. We're going to come back. There's more. But we want to take this and get ready to take it to production. Now, tracking changes is hard. DX Inspector lets you track your changes in real time in your org. Pretty amazing. You can even monitor and manage those changes directly in your sandbox. You can even deploy things. Now, first of all, we're picking the object, the flow, and the fields. But notice there's a new tab up there, data. You remember, we're good admins, right? So we tested, we put our reference data in, we made sure that it all works. You can now add data to your deployment. No more pushing your metadata and loading the data right after. It can be done in one transaction. Come on, tell me that doesn't make deployment day easier. Incredible. All right, Kate and David, we got everything ready to go? Woohoo! All right, let's push to production. Now, this wouldn't be a good keynote if we didn't show you what the final result looks like, right? All right. So we're going to, once it deploys, we're going to switch over, and we're going to go ahead and create a rate agreement for Paradise Tours. They negotiated a pretty sweet rate, $180 a night. So we're going to go ahead and create this rate agreement for them. And what you're going to see happen is the negotiated by field will be set appropriately. There we go, to the account owner, and it's pending an approval. So let's switch over and take a look at the approval that is pending in the approval queue. All right, there we go. There's the approval waiting for us to go. So we're going to go ahead and approve it. This is on flow. No more separate approvals. All right, great. Let's approve it, and then now it's going to take a second to process. It's a real system, right? So we're going to go back, and we're going to reload and see if that rate agreement is approved. And there it is. How amazing. Now, I promise, as you get into your real systems with complicated flows and complicated situations, this is going to be shining. It's going to make an incredible difference for you. So if you're keeping track at home now we've created it. We've created an object. We created a flow. We summarized it. And then we deployed the metadata and the data. So that is how you set up and build with impact. Next, we are going to look at how you make every enterprise intelligent and conversational. And Jillian Bruce is going to tell us all about the power of Slack and Agentforce.
Yes, nice job. Hello, awesome admins. It's good to see you all. Now, I know that over a decade of working with you has taught me a few things. One of the biggest things it taught me is how important it is that the tools you use are not only easy for you to use, but they are easy for your end users to use. They're easy to implement. There's a lot of tools that you use. On average, an enterprise uses over 1,000 tools to run their business. That's wild. Think about that user experience, right? You're constantly switching between different systems, different apps. How many Chrome tabs you probably have open every day, right? You're inputting in different user interfaces, you're pulling things, you're then communicating that out. It is chaotic for your end users, but it's a lot for you because you're the admin who's in charge of it all. Now, what if I told you that there was this one unified place that you could bring all of your people, all of your apps, all of your systems into a friendly conversational interface? Well, that's why I work at Slack. No, but for the last 2 years or so, I have been working with Slack because it is your agentic operating system. It is the one place that you can bring your people, your data, your applications, and yes, your AI agents into one friendly conversational interface. I mean, let's face it, people like communicating in Slack, right? Who doesn't love a good emoji? You could bring all of that disjointed experience into one friendly platform that makes it easy to get your work done. It makes it easy for users to understand how to use. And I mentioned AI agents, right? Where are you going to be building these agents? Well, you're building them with the Agentforce 360 platform. And earlier today, you heard about how this is new, the new capabilities we've got happening with Agentforce 360. We have intelligent context, we have Agentforce voice, and we have the new Agentforce builder, which you're going to see in just a second. Now, this is a faster than ever experience. These are developer tools and admin tools that have been built hand in hand with you, our customers. So, I love a good slide, but you know what I love more than good slides? An actual demo. So, Kate, let's fire up that demo. Now, we were introduced to Coral Cloud's resorts. It's a pretty popular resort with some of our very large tour operators. They want to book all their tour groups there. That's fantastic. Good for them. I don't want to have to deal with all of those requests, so guess what? We built an agent for that. And here, you see our new agent builder experience. On the left, you've got some stuff you're familiar with, topics, connections, data libraries, connected agents. Let's go ahead and check into one of those topics, our availability check. And you're going to see a little bit of a different thing happening here. In the center, that looks a little different. That looks more like a document, right? More looks like actual written instructions. So we're going to go ahead and ask to add to this topic a way to write with AI. That means pulling together the summary of what this agent is doing in actually a conversation and text we can understand. And we have Agentforce working right there inside of Agent Builder, telling us what it's doing. And we're going to put a request in there, and we're going to see real time how this is showing up in that central canvas there. It's pretty cool. Pretty good. Okay, so now we made this adjustment to this topic for our agent, but we also want to test it, right? We're good admins. So we're going to go ahead and use the simulator here so that we can see how this agent is going to be actually working for our users. So let's test it. Let's request, a reservation block for one of our upcoming tours and see what this agent is going to do for us. Now, in this interaction summary field, you're going to see all of the things that Agentforce is doing on our behalf. So this means that our users aren't going to have to switch between all of these different systems, all of these different apps. Agentforce is doing all of this for us. Looks like it's doing a pretty good job. It's even giving us a summary of what happened. And if we like it, I think we like it. We're going to keep going. So we're going to accept this agent. We like it. But where are we going to put this agent? We want one place where not only our Coral Cloud staff will be able to interact with this agent, but our tour operators. And we don't want those people to have to go into all of these different apps that we've built with our wonderful Agentforce 360. We want them to do it in one conversational place that is friendly, has fun emojis. Where do I want to put this agent? That's right, Slack. So let's go ahead and see how we can use something called Auto Slack. Now, this is something in setup that all admins have access to. You can automatically create a Slack workspace, and you could even add those Slack conversations to Lightning record pages if you choose to go back into Lightning. That's your choice. And you can automatically provision this for all of your users. Now, I want to take a second here because I know security is top of mind for every single admin. I want you all to know that all of the security settings and data accessibility you have set up in Salesforce is respected in Slack. That means if a user does not have access to that record in Salesforce, they will not have access to that record in Slack or that data. When an agent is taking action in Slack, it's acting as that user, so it only has access to the data that that user has access to that you've controlled and you've set up. So, now that you feel really good about enabling the Slack workspace, let's fast forward the clock a little bit and check out our Coral Cloud Resorts Slack workspace. See, doesn't that look nicer? No. So here we go. We have some familiar things that we know and love in Slack. We've got channels for some of our big tour operators. This is a great way to collaborate in real time. We've got our people in there, so not only our Coral Cloud staff, but we've used Slack Connect to bring in our external tour operators so that we can have one conversation, one place that we're doing all of our work. And we've got our connected apps, Google Calendar, Google Drive, Salesforce, and then we've got our agents there in the bottom. So let's go check out our agent that we just built, Aloha agent. See what I did there? So here we have our Aloha agent. And let's go ahead and try and book that room block again. Let's see if our agent is able to do this. Now, what's happening is everything you just saw in the simulator on the agent builder side. Agentforce is checking our reservation system, checking the calendar, checking all of the things that we have set up in Salesforce, but it's not making me go into Salesforce to go look up all that data. It's telling me right here in a conversation in a thread. Okay, great. Looks like there's availability. Let's book it. Let's put Agent Aloha to the test. Do the work for me. I don't want to have to click anything else. Now, not only did Agent Aloha go ahead and make the reservation, but it also automatically generated this contract. That means that it's not only working on data you have set up in Salesforce and the conversation you're having right there in Slack, but it's also working with DocuSign. It's working with a third-party external system that you have set up connected. Okay, so there we go. Great, thanks for doing the work. Now, if anyone has ever booked in a tour before or worked with a tour group, you know there's like a whole list of people you got to make reservations for. And oftentimes, that comes in the form of a spreadsheet. Wah, wah. It's the admin keynote, folks. We make fun of spreadsheets every year, do we not? Okay, but guess what? We don't have to deal with that spreadsheet anymore. Guess who's going to deal with that spreadsheet for us? Aloha, agent. So we're going to go ahead and give the spreadsheet of those guests up into this conversation right here. And here's the thing, Agent Aloha isn't only going to create guest records for everybody on that list, but it's also going to capture all of the other data in there. So if there's any special notes about requests or special needs, dietary restrictions, it's going to take all of that, capture that, and put it in the right places on your Salesforce side. Okay. So pretty good, pretty great. Now again, this is just a taste. You're not seeing it right here, but this is a Slack thread. And what do you do in a Slack thread? You collaborate, right? So an agent can not only just collaborate in a one-to-one scenario, but your whole team could be interacting with this agent. So the coordinator, the reservation desk agent, the tour operator from that external tour can all be interacting with this one agent in this one conversation inside of Slack. Okay, we want Agent Aloha to do a little bit more for us. We want, it's Aloha spirit. We want people to feel the Aloha when they arrive from Paradise Tours. We want to give them a gift. So let's ask Agent Aloha to set up some welcome gifts for our guests. Now, what Agentforce is doing is not only looking at all the Salesforce data that we've updated across all of our different Salesforce apps and workflows, but also the procurement app that we have set up. It's pulling in that data right there. Putting it in the context of this conversation, I can pick, I like flowers, so let's pick the Hawaiian lei, and let's make sure that all of our guests get this beautiful gift when they arrive. And hey, I'm doing this in a conversation. I'm not having to leave. I could literally be doing this and multitasking doing something else because I'm not flipping between all these different systems and apps. And now we have already our room block booked, we have our gift ordered, we have the contract signed. We're doing a lot of business with Paradise Tours. Let's keep asking Agent Aloha to do a little more work for us. Let's check out how we're doing overall with Paradise Tours as a tour company. How much business have we done over the year? And look at that. Within moments, we've actually got a Tableau visualization showing us all of the business that we've done with Agentforce, with Paradise Tours over the last year. Pretty great. Again, all of this is in the context of the conversation. Agentforce is searching all of the data for us, taking all the actions for us, and all we're doing is having a conversation right here in this friendly interface called Slack. Okay. This agent is great. It's helping us book these room blocks. But what if I told you you could have your own agent? Your own personalized AI, context-aware agent that knows how you work, understands your voice and tone, understands the context of everything that you've been doing in Slack, is connected to all of your systems. You do. And it's called Slackbot. Now, I don't know if you saw it this morning in the keynote, but it has been a buzz all day. Slackbot is my best friend. It's probably a sad admission there. But Slackbot is incredible because it is your own AI productivity assistant. Let's check it out. Let's ask Slackbot to see if there's any, maybe any meetings coming up with Paradise Tours. And now what Slackbot is doing, it's not only looking at your conversations, it's looking at your Google Calendar, it's looking at all of your data inside of Salesforce, and it's using an LLM to pull that all together to make sense. Look at that. Looks like we got a meeting coming up. I didn't have to check multiple things and ask my team if they also had something set up. Slackbot did all of that work for me instantaneously. Okay, it's coming up pretty soon. It's in 19 hours. We should probably get this prepared. Now, what do I need to prepare for this meeting? Well, it'd probably be helpful to have some information on where we're at with the account, any history. So let's ask Slackbot if it could put together a meeting brief for us. And now, this is the magic of Slackbot, everybody. How many hours would it take you, and how many systems would you have to go through and look up in order to put together a comprehensive meeting brief letting you know everything you need to know? Not only logistics of the meeting, not only what the context is between the different conversations that not only me, but our organization has been having. That's that Slack contextual data right there. But it's also pulling together all of the data that we have in Salesforce and any external data about Paradise Tours that we might need to know about. That would have taken hours. That took 10 seconds, if that. And this is just a taste, everybody. We could continue having this conversation with Slackbot. We could ask it to create a canvas. We could ask it to draft an email. Slack, email, why do I even say that? Draft a message. We could ask it to even create a meeting for us. Those are all of the things that can just kind of get your mind going about what's possible with Slackbot. I ask Slackbot to do things for me all of the time. You will all have this in January. So start thinking about how much productivity this is going to drive for you. Now, amazing demo. Again, it's just a taste of what we can do. And I hope you now all understand what you can do with conversational, intelligent interface called Slack, putting Agentforce to work. It's really where Agentforce comes to life, is in Slack. Now, to keep this keynote going, there's plenty more things we want to talk about. We have this meeting briefing doc here, and I think actually, Lisa, you're on the hook for this meeting. So I think we're going to hand it off to you so that you can go ahead and take us into this meeting here. Everyone, Lisa Dick, Director of Admin Marketing.
Hello, awesome admins. How do we feel about everything we've seen so far? Good? Yeah? Okay, good. In my role, I get to talk with so many of you about what you need to be successful in your roles. But I also feel that very personally because I got my start in the ecosystem 15 years ago as a marketing coordinator at a nonprofit. Now, I managed our instance of Salesforce through Marketing Cloud, which means that in addition to email journeys and managing campaigns, I was also adding new users and resetting a lot of passwords, which is how I very quickly became marketing/admin, which might be a familiar journey for many of you, yeah? But back then, strong security really just meant making sure my users had good passwords, or like at a minimum, just not putting their password like on a sticky note on their screen. Like, why do we all have that one? Can they just not? But now, managing users, managing permissions, it is so hard. Like Tian said earlier, we've heard you. It's so hard. And as a marketer, y'all, it is complicated. But it is about to get a whole lot easier. We mentioned that we were going to revisit setup powered by Agentforce. So let's take a look now specifically for permissions. This makes it easier than ever to assign permissions based on the principle of least privilege. And this is in pilot right now. This puts Agentforce front and center to manage your permissions conversationally. So great. But as y'all know, permissions are just one part of the overall security story, right? The Salesforce approach to security is a shared responsibility model with 3 parts. The invisibles, which are things that work behind the scenes, so you don't have to worry about them. The configurables, which are things that we as admins can configure, like permissions. And the enhanceables, which are more advanced security features. But, unlike Jillian, I just want to see a demo on how all this works, right? We promised we were going to revisit setup. Let's go ahead and do that. All right. So you heard Tian say that we had a negotiated rate for Paradise Tours. Hooray. But as the director of marketing, what do? We get discounts. That's what marketers do. So I want to go ahead and put a discount code into this Paradise Tour account to note that it's there. So I'm just going to go ahead and edit this field really quickly. Okay. I'm going to edit this field really quickly. Y'all, I'm so sorry. This is supposed to be editable, and it's not. Kate, hey, I can see that you are clearly in the middle of something right now, but you're my favorite admin. Can you help me out here?
Absolutely. I think everyone in this audience knows that a Salesforce admin is always busy. And I also think that you would all agree with me that you always have time to help troubleshoot for your users, especially your favorite ones. All right, Lisa, can you tell me what you need to edit and how you would typically interact with our tour operators and rate agreements? As you know, at Coral Cloud Resorts, we follow the principle of least privilege, which means that every user, including you, only has the access and visibility that they need to do their job and nothing more.
Okay, so that makes sense. I don't need to edit the tour operators. I really just need to edit this rate agreement to note that I was able to secure this discount.
Okay, well, We can definitely do that. You know how we dropped the Easter egg earlier that we were going to come back to setup powered by Agentforce? Well, this is the moment, and this is a game changer for admins because we spend so much time every week troubleshooting user access.
Well, I just got done telling all of these wonderful folks that we could do this conversationally. Can you show us what that looks like?
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look, and maybe we even click through it. All right, I'm going to start off by asking our agent about your current access with that rate agreement object. Now, it sounds like you were able to see the object, but you were having difficulty editing it. But I just want to verify that and make sure that we are on the same foundational level as what is happening behind the scenes here. So our agent is going to go ahead and take a look and see what is available to you currently with that rate agreement custom object. All right, here are your current permissions. It looks like you're able to read the object, but it sounds like you maybe need to be able to write as well.
I do, and I'm wondering, could the agent help us out with that?
Absolutely. My next step is going to be to ask what permission set grants access to this object. Now, if you know what permission set this is off the top of your head, you can skip this step, but oh, and here it is. This is referenced in a couple different spots, and I want to make sure we're giving you access to the full one. And I think that this is the one I need. So I'm now going to ask our agent to go ahead and assign that rate agreement full access permission set to you. Now, we talked about keeping the human in the loop earlier. The agent is going to double check with me to make sure that we really want to do this. And as an admin, I think that's great because I don't just want anybody getting permissions without a little bit of a double check. Okay, here's the draft assignment. It's asking us to confirm, which I'm going to. We'll give it a minute to process. And then once it tells us you're ready to go, Lisa, can you go ahead and try your edit again?
I sure can. Okay, I'm back on my Paradise Tours account page. I'm just going to go ahead and apply that marketing discount, hit save, and there it is. Woo. Permissions updated. Okay, y'all, let's take a second to talk about how easy it was to update those permissions. We didn't have to click through a bunch of different pages. It didn't take us hundreds of clicks. I counted. I don't know if you guys were counting, but I counted. We were able to do it by just having a conversation. How great is that? Okay, let's keep talking security. Well, back when I was an admin, good security just meant locking down fields. But as y'all know all too well, admins face so many security concerns that they need to be on top of, right, Kate?
That is absolutely true, although locking down fields is still really important. But as you mentioned, admins face a number of new threats, and we're the ones responsible for keeping our users and our data in Salesforce secure. Thankfully, we also have a lot more help.
Well, we've talked about the invisibles, and we've talked about the configurables, but let's talk a little bit more about the enhanceables, because you mentioned getting a little bit more help. For any solo admin, how many solo admins do we have out here? There's a lot. There's a lot of solo admins. Okay. A security smart admin and out-of-the-box tools really are enough to secure your org, but we know that many of you are in enterprise organizations or in highly regulated industries where you might need a little bit more support when it comes to security and detecting threats. Kate, could you show us what that looks like?
Absolutely. So admins have access to Shield, which is a suite of add-on products that includes things like encrypting data at rest, monitoring events, including user activity, getting a comprehensive audit trail of changes made in data, and also identifying sensitive data that's just in the wrong place. With Shield, we have Data Detect, which you see here on the screen, which lets us know if we have any sensitive data that just doesn't belong. So let's go ahead and take a look at our scan results.
Okay, so this is really helpful, right? We're seeing here that there are 6 pieces of data, sensitive data, right? This could be PII that have been entered, and this is going to put admins and IT at risk for noncompliance. This is a really helpful view here. But if we don't know where to start, right? Say we have admins that are managing multiple orgs. Is there a way to get a holistic view of our overall security posture?
Absolutely. Admins monitoring multiple orgs or managing multiple orgs also have access to Security Center, another add-on product that allows them to better manage their security posture. So really exciting news. This week at Dreamforce, we are launching and announcing security with Agentforce, which takes the power of Agentforce and automates risk assessments, and it detects and alerts admins to any unusual activity. So if you want to see this in action, I recommend checking out the security keynote Thursday at 1:30. I know I'll be there.
Well, I will absolutely be there as well because, like I said, it's been a minute since I was an admin. What if I just don't know what I don't know when it comes to my org's overall health, when it comes to security? Is there a way, just throwing this out there, is there a way that the agent could help us get a view into our security risk?
You know, if you just don't know where to start, head back to Setup powered by Agentforce and ask the agent to give you a helping hand. Let's put it to the test. We'll ask a really broad security question about our Salesforce org's high risks. When we were in Shield, we saw some kind of non-compliant areas that I, as an admin, would like to dive a little bit deeper into. And here we go. This is fantastic. Our agent proactively provided a list of settings that are high risk, highlights our compliance. So now as an admin, I have a starting point. I have a list of settings that I can dive into and really drill into to better secure my Salesforce org.
Kate, thank you so much for showing me what's possible with Agentforce and for letting me interrupt you. Again, I know you're very busy. It is so clear just how critical admins are to both productivity and security. And now you can see how to use the invisibles, configurables, and enhanceables to secure your org and provide trusted experiences. Back to you, Mike.
Thank you, Lisa. Wow, that was amazing. And y'all are leaving too soon because the best is yet to come. So I noticed a few of you in the front few rows, you kind of get that in your stomach, like, how am I going to do this? Because that's what I used to feel when I was sitting in keynotes. And I'm here to tell you, admins, we don't have to reinvent ourselves. We know how to drive change within organizations. The story of Agentforce doesn't include admins. It's powered by admins. Admins know analytics, security, user, data management, and product management. That's the core to how we drive change within our organization. That's how we bring the agentic enterprise to life. And I told you you're leaving if you're going to miss the best part. So here's the best part. I'm just going to tell you right now. Also, thank you to the people that were sitting all the way in the clear back of the room by the pillar. There's probably some seats up here. Every year at the admin keynote, we like to highlight the best of us, the people that go above and beyond, the people that give back to the community, and the people we like to shine a shining star on. Words, folks, words. This year, I would love to shine the shining star on Nicole Pomponio. Nicole, please come up and join me. Hi, Nicole.
Hi, Mike.
Now, for those of you that listen to the Salesforce Admins podcast, you know Nicole and I have already had this conversation. It was wonderful. But we talked, Nicole, about how you drove Slack throughout your organization. Please tell this room full of admins how they're going to do this.
It's one of my favorite questions. And just to make you feel more comfortable, I might also say a couple words on repeat.
Oh, please.
As well.
Shining star.
Shining. Yeah. And this is a we, this is not a me. So nothing is ever done in a silo. And just to break down some framework for you really quick, if you've ever had to get buy-in, it can be difficult, especially if you're talking about a new system. But it's really about seeing a problem, outlining a solution, and then networking that with your peers at your organization. And then if you have to, deliver that upward to management to get approval. I am on the senior leadership team, so I got to skip the last step, which is nice. But if you need to do it, I can definitely help you draft that because I want to help you all out. But we did additional trainings to really make sure people understood the foundations of the platform. So Slack is evolving. You want to make sure you know everything that's going on in there. And then I really love when people have light bulb moments. So I like to lead from behind. I want to drop in training on new features. I want to drop in, hey, maybe we could do something like this, right? To get people thinking about what they can do to empower themselves during the day. And maybe that's adding a canvas to a project channel, internal and external, so that you're sharing information with your customers. Maybe it's getting your approval processes to flow into Slack so you can click a button in Slack instead of it having to go to another browser or click a tab. And I do have many tabs day to day as well. But it's an incremental change. It won't come overnight. And you really have to make sure that you're solving an actual problem. You're not just forcing something onto folks that aren't ready for that.
So to be clear, you didn't just flip a switch, throw confetti, and become the Agentic enterprise.
We didn't. I would like to lie to you, but I can't do that. I can't lie by nature. It takes time to really build the understanding of the platform and to get people to understand, right, like what they can actually do.
Nicole, I don't know if everybody can see this, but you have this wonderful gold, awesome admin POW shirt. Nicole, you do so much for the community. You're such an amazing person. At Salesforce, we love to give things. Can we give you something?
I mean, free is for me.
Free is for you.
So, yes.
Nicole, I would love to present you with the golden hoodie for all that you do in the community.
Let's put this on. Gotta take that nice jacket.
Yeah, absolutely. I can take this.
Okay, trade you. There you go.
Look at that. That's so much nicer. Now, Nicole, we have to get a selfie right in front of the camera. Awesome. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you for all that you do. Give Nicole another round of applause. Be sure to talk to Nicole after the keynote because she will tell you how to drive the Agentic enterprise in your organization, just like everyone else can do. Nicole, you're a trailblazer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm always happy to talk Slack. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So are we.
Yes. Thank you.
Now, we've talked about a lot of things. Holy cow, we covered a lot of things. But I told you Kate's not going to leave you high and dry, and I was right. Kate wrote a recap for today's keynote so that you can get started driving the Agentic enterprise. All you have to do is scan the QR code. And you're here all week. You have a lot of cool things you can visit. The Admin Meadow, I know Jennifer Lee put a lot of work into that. The Admin Theater, there's some phenomenal presentations down there for you to check out. And of course, get your hands on with mini hacks in the Community Cove and read all of the Salesforce releases. So with that, I would love to run with you, but I want to tell you thank you for coming. And admins, it's time for you to go power the Agentic enterprise.